How have these moves impacted your company?
Great, thank you. I really think it's an exciting time to be in the tech space, especially here in Rwanda, because there's a lot of new interests, there's a lot of new players entering the market, as well as it's given a chance for the infrastructure as well as the ecosystem of techpreneurs and tech talent to flourish in Rwanda. I'm particularly excited about the different training centers that are augmenting the traditional education space, so not just a four-year degree and you look for a job, but they're actually providing real skills that you might use for a real job right after graduating.
Right. So how has your company sort of contributed to the local skill force?
Absolutely. We've trained a number of people in IT. We have a strong internship program where we take university students from various universities. They come, they train, we give them real life projects based on their skill, and they actually get to make an impact right away. What we found is, and our internship program is very highly sought after, because we give them real skills that they put on their CV and then they become marketable, as well as they become a pipeline for our engineers. So we hire, I'd say almost 50% of our intern graduates stay with us. So it's something that we're very happy with. Also as well, our alumni, people who have stayed with us and worked at Hexakomb, are also in various other companies that eventually enter the market and want some skilled talent. It's kind of good and bad, but they do look to Hexakomb, and if you've been trained through Hexakomb, you're a stronger candidate.
Right. Has that been somewhat of a challenge for you? Because now we are seeing more IT solution related companies coming up from abroad and here. Has that been something that you've had to sort of struggle with?
It is a struggle. I mean, particularly last year, a lot of our staff was poached and we had to rebuild. So it's also an opportunity to rebuild. I think of Hexakomb as a company. We have training process, we have a structure. So it's like any good football team or basketball team with a good coach. You can rebuild as long as you get the good fundamentals, which is good character, good skill, good ability. We can still meet the needs of our clients.
Right. Other than new players entering the field, how else has the ICT sector changed realistically since you entered 7 years ago?
Great. I mean, 7 years ago, it was still internet connectivity was a challenge. You know, some of this, we're primarily a software company, so you have to be able to access our tools. They're either web-based or mobile-based. So if connectivity is slow or not affordable, it's very difficult to promote that solution. So the government of Rwanda, with the different initiatives and infrastructure, we've cut down those barriers to make the adoption of digital solutions so much easier. And it allows companies like us, with our partner organizations, to innovate. I mean, we're now doing projects in agriculture with farmers, giving them access to technology and mobile phones. And 7 years ago, that would be unheard of, because they said, no, a device is $800, $1,000. You know, they would never afford that. But now we're bringing that technology to very affordable prices and to a wider population.
Right. You know, some of these new initiatives that have come up recently, you know, a lot of them would benefit a company like yours. And you were saying that you're excited about more training. Signed that excite you as an entrepreneur?
The different funds that are entering the market, those are particularly interesting, because, I would also like to say that we're very happy when the IT community gets attention or gets investments, because collectively, if we're all doing well, that brings more reason for investors to come. And that's what we're seeing now. We've heard a few success stories. And they brought attention and said, oh, wow, you can bring actual money into Rwanda and get a good return. What else is happening in the ecosystem? So I applaud my fellow colleagues in the IT sector, those ones who have stayed through, the ups and downs. And for sure, it's going to be a win-win situation.
Right. You have some big clients on your client list, and you've been there for quite some time, so clearly you have credibility, etc. But how did you sort of push through when you first started out? Because some of the things that we hear from other entrepreneurs is that they have problems sourcing skills, problems sourcing capital. How did you manage to push through some of those initial challenges?
Great, yeah. And I would tell all the young entrepreneurs, you're always going to have a challenge. I also mentor at K-Lab, and there's many entrepreneurs, they think, okay, I have a great idea, but an idea is not business. You really have to understand business because an idea won't take you that far. But if you understand business, you can build yourself a runway because some ideas take time to develop. So if you have a good business plan and you're able to adapt to the market needs, you're able to give yourself enough runway so that your idea can take off. That means, one, you have to be able to demonstrate a solution, get companies or potential clients who are willing to pay for your idea while it's getting off the ground, etc. And also, you have to be willing to give your product out for free. We've done that a lot during our early stages just to get credibility and say, okay, we do have that capability and capacity. Let's do a great project. If we do this great project, you might not get paid, but please, if you do an excellent job, give us a recommendation letter. And those recommendations have helped a lot and gained the trust.
Right, so making some sacrifices for your credibility.
Correct.
So what are your thoughts on Rwanda barreling towards this goal that Rwanda has of being an international ICT hub? Do you think that we can make it as soon as the country would like to, or do you think that the infrastructure is even there yet? What are your thoughts?
I definitely believe we can get there. Everything starts with a vision and a dream, and through our leadership, we've definitely had that, and we're putting in the right things in place. So it's not so much a government-led thing where government has to do all the work. Government is putting in place the right ecosystem and framework, so if it's easy to do business, to register, things about digital certificates, things that allow the private enterprise to take that initiative, because essentially it's the private, small, medium, and eventually large enterprises that are going to make that transformation.
Right.
So we have to provide that environment for them to be able to succeed with as few barriers as possible.
Right.
So that's why new entrants are coming into the market, because, oh, Rwanda, I can do this, I can do that, without any headaches.
Right.
I remember I have a colleague, a friend from another country, and he was asking about the tax rates. In Rwanda, what's the tax rates, what's this? And I said, okay, yeah, corporate income tax, 30%, withholding 15%, VAT 18%. And he's like, okay, wow, that's high. I'm like, it's competitive in the region. Then he said, well, my country is a lot lower, but there are other hidden taxes. For example, a tax collector can come to you, look at your business, say, oh, there's a line of people out here. You're doing well, so there's an unsaid tax, which is also unpredictable, which for a business can be detrimental, that you can't predict.
Definitely, and you don't have that here.
Correct.